The Sydney Swans and Brisbane Lions went head-to-head in Newcastle on Saturday in what was always going to be a big test for the Queenslanders. The Lions played 12 academy members in its side last week but had the bulk of its young top-ups unavailable due to the Queensland Under-18s TAC Cup clash. It showed from the opening bounce as the Swans were on the front foot early, kicking 2 goals from 7 attempts in the first quarter. Sydney extended its lead in the second with its forwards lifting a gear to capitalise on their midfield's dominance. Leading by 29 points at the main break, the Swans kicked another 4 goals to 3 to effectively end the contest by three-quarter time. With usual ball winner Dan Robinson out of the side to make his AFL debut on Friday night, the likes of Abe Davis, Craig Bird and George Hewitt carried the load in the middle, while Dean Towers finished with 4 goals as the Swans ran out 74-point winners. Redland played host to defending Premier Aspley at Tidbold Park, and it was the visitors who got off to the better start. The Hornets kicked 5 goals to 1 in the opening quarter to immediately have the Bombers on the back foot.
Looks pretty good off the boot. Has it got the distance? Yes, it has.
After missing some chances in the first term, Redland responded in the second when Sam Michael, Blake Brewer and Matt Thompson registered majors to cut the margin to 15 at half-time.
Long, high and goal!
But Aspley drew first blood in the third as again the Bombers were wayward in front of goals, missing 4 consecutive shots before Aspley defender Gavin Gross made them pay.
On the left, this'll hurt if it bounces the right way, and it does! Ouch!
Young gun Josh Wagner collected 35 disposals in a best-on-ground performance on the eve of his senior representative debut as the Hornets kept the Bombers at arm's length in the last to win by 24 points.
It was very congested footy, and that was just the way the game unfolded. Both sides were intent on trying to close down, very good midfielders on both sides. We had to try and control Smith and Brewer. They had Payne, Williams, Ryan Holman to work at. So there was a bit of interest in both sides there.
Eastlake were keen for redemption in the second local Canberra derby against Ainsley after being smashed by 123 points last time the sides met in round 2. But it was the Tricolours who made a point early on in popular clubman Ian Lawless's 150th milestone match. Ainsley kicked 7 goals 5 to 3 behinds in a scintillating first quarter to have the Demons mesmerised at quarter time. They picked up the pieces in the second to register their first goal, but by half-time the Tricolours were in full control with a 60-point lead. Eastlake were far more competitive in the second half, going goal for goal with Ainsley in the third. But Nick Salter and Josh Bennett combined for 7 goals between them for the match, as young draft prospects Liam Griffiths and Jordan Harper did their chances no harm to spearhead Ainsley to a 73-point win. The match of the round took place at Henson Park, where a win for either Sydney University or Southport would have them a game clear in 6th place on the ladder heading into the competition bye. The contest started as expected with neither side giving the other an inch. Rob Clements had the opening goal of the match before Tim Barrett responded at the other end.
Tim Barrett puts the shot on goal. Geez, he's done tremendously well from a sharp angle, Tim Barrett, and he kicked Unis first.
With Southport 1 point clear at quarter time, Tom Young kicked his side into gear and Jordan Law made it 2 in a row for the students.
Towards the top of the goal square, 2-1 to Southport. Jordan Law gathers, puts it on the outside of the right foot though, and an opportunistic goal for Sydney University.
But Sydney University's momentum was short-lived as Clements bagged his second to start a string of 4 in a row to the Sharks to restore their lead at half-time.
Opens the angle, Jared Brennan converts truly.
Sydney Uni started the third with 3 consecutive behinds, but once they found an opportunity, the floodgates opened.
Forward pocket, swings around, puts a right foot kick towards the top of the square, hits off hands, Troutman can't gather, hits out of the congestion, Rawlinson with the goal! They
had 5 straight, including 3 for the quarter from Derricks, to head into the last change with a handy 26-point lead. The students didn't take their foot off the pedal in the last, kicking a further 7 goals to 1 in a wasteful last quarter for the Sharks to win by 58 points. The last match of Indigenous round was the showpiece event in Darwin between NT Thunder and Gold Coast, who both wore special Indigenous jerseys to mark the occasion. NT Thunder were coming off 2 close losses and were chasing heels in the first as the Suns booted 4 of the first 5 goals of the game to race to an early lead. An opportunistic goal from Darren Ewing, followed by a terrific mark from Chris Dunn moments before quarter time, reduced the margin to a manageable 8 points. Unseasonal rain descended on Marara during the break, but it only served to bring out the best from the home side. Ewing took a characteristic contested mark to draw scores level, and young gun Michael Bowden defied the conditions to give his side the lead for the first time.
Forward, sees the ball through. That's very, very well done.
Thunder kicked 4 goals to none in the second to take control by half-time, and the engine room, consisting of Shanna Rioli, Richard Tambling and Cameron Eilert, made sure their work wasn't finished in the second half. Another of Thunder's better performers in Matt Rosier opened the scoring at the 6-minute mark of the third, before a former Sun in Liam Patrick came back to haunt his old side.
Liam Patrick, you gun!
The Lajamanu Lightning Bolt danced around his former teammates for his first goal and backed it up moments later with a skillful snap to bring the home crowd to its feet.
35 metres, not giving himself much. 35 metres doesn't matter a hoot, does it? Does not matter a hoot as he kicks on goal.
The Suns struggled to create opportunities in attack, and it didn't get any easier in the last, as NT Thunder made it 14 unanswered goals since the first quarter, on their way to a 74-point victory. It was a round dominated by the top 6 as Aspley, Sydney, NT Thunder and Ainsley maintained their positions in the top half of the ladder. After losing their first 3 games of the season, Sydney University has responded with 4 straight wins to jump into the top 6 for the first time, while also opening up a valuable 4-point lead over Southport. Next week, all non-AFL clubs will have a bye for the NEAFL representative clash against the Tasmania State League on Sunday. Gold Coast will take on Sydney in a curtain raiser at Metricon Stadium on Saturday, with the UWS Giants and Brisbane doing the same at Spotless Stadium on Sunday. Keep up to date with all the latest news on our website and social media accounts, and don't forget to download our official NEAFL app for live scores, champion data statistics, player leaderboards and plenty more.